So Ellen rang in 420 week on a high note, like literally, as she revealed a time she drove Portia to the hospital after drinking 3 weed drinks. But let's just say fans aren't exactly finding the humor in her story. Let's get into it. Ellen DeGeneres is catching some major heat over a story she told to Jimmy Kimmel during a 420 themed episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live, which involved driving under the influence of what appeared to be a non-alcoholic drink infused with cannabis. While appearing as a guest on Kimmel earlier this week, Ellen began sharing some of her weed stories about eating a gummy and feeling like she was going to die, just before getting into a story about the time she had to rush her wife Portia de Rossi to the hospital after chugging a few cannabis-infused beverages. Ellen started off by saying, quote, "Chelsea Handler told me about these weed drinks. They're called Can. They have CBD or THC. I don't know what the good thing is."
I drank 1 and I didn't feel anything, and I drank 3. And then I took 2 melatonin sleep pills.
I can already tell where this is headed. But as Ellen was lying in bed, she realized that Portia was on the ground in excruciating pain, to which she admitted she rushed Portia to the emergency room in what would later result in Portia needing her appendix removed. Jimmy looked shocked at the fact that Ellen had just drank half a 6-pack case of CBD drinks, asking her, "You drove her by yourself?" Ellen responded by saying, quote, "I did. I mean, I kicked in like my adrenaline because I just had to rush her there. It's probably not safe. I shouldn't be saying any of this." Given that Ellen is already under a massive microscope following last year's toxic workplace scandal, this probably wasn't the smartest thing to divulge. But her story drew massive amounts of criticism over the fact that this is still considered driving under the influence. According to the company that produces the canned drinks, their line of marijuana-infused drinks ranges from a mix of 2 milligrams of THC combined with 4 milligrams of CBD to 5 milligrams of solely THC. That sounds so confusing to me. And for reference, the Marijuana Policy Project recommends that a first-time edible user start with a 5 milligram dose. That said, one user tweeted, "Even for the regular consumer, it's illegal in California to drive while under the influence. This wouldn't be any different than admitting she drank 3 beers and drove to the hospital." Many fans also labeled her as careless and entitled, like this user who asked, "Was she under the influence of believing that as a very famous celebrity she can do whatever she likes?" Others even wondered why they couldn't have just called an ambulance, considering Ellen drove under the influence of THC and sleeping pills. Yeah, I'm gonna file this one under stories that are better left untold. At this time, Ellen has not yet responded to the backlash, but we'll be sure to update you should that change. Speaking of Ellen scandals, because we know there has been a lot of them this past year, click right over here for the full rundown on the aftermath after the toxic workplace scandal. After that, let me know your thoughts on Ellen's weed drinking story in the comments section below. I'm your host, Susan Morad. You can find me on TikTok at Susan_Morad. I'll catch you later. Bye guys.